protective, this cow. And it's interesting because she's not an old cow. She's one of the quite young females. She's not a big girl, but she's been the entire time very protective. I'm not sure if it's just because of her positioning and the fact that she's closest to us. There's definitely some bigger ladies around. She's taking her role as protector of the herd very seriously. Any closer. There was one down in the drainage line, but I think she's moving out now. Let's see if while this female moves away we can't shift a little bit. I really enjoy the peacefulness of an elephant sighting like this. You just get to spend a little bit of time with them. You can hear the sounds of them breaking branches and feeding, and just moving through the vegetation. Let my engine run for a moment. There's just some heads poking out from the side of the drainage line as well. There's one moving down and then into the drainage line. Big girls, and just the top of a female's head at the back there. And it feels as though this place is just filled with elephants. Now, before the black-bellied bustard made a cameo appearance, I was chatting a little bit about bulls and herd interactions with them. And I mentioned the fenced reserve that I used to work in. One thing that they were trying there was a type of elephant contraception, just to make sure that they weren't going to damage the reserve by having too many elephants. And there is a necessity, because we have put fences up in areas, to then control elephant populations, because they can't do it themselves, and they definitely can't move to get to resources. One of the interesting things about this contraceptive program is it was not hormonally based, so it didn't have any of the side effects of interfering with the animal's natural hormones. They still went into estrus regularly. It was based on an autoimmune response, so a natural response from the elephant, and completely reversible in the way that they used it. But the one aspect of it was it meant that the elephants went into estrus more frequently. And there was a concern initially was that elephant males or elephant bulls were then going to harass the herds, harass the females to get access to those in estrus. And luckily it turned out, it's been running for 20 years, it turned out not cleverly elephants can manage themselves. Hello ladies. Hello ladies. It's a female with very large, very pointed tusks who wants to move forward and has found herself in a roadblock, so is going to poke the female in front of her out of her way. Not the most dignified approach. You feel the elephant being poked in the bottom and told to move along. Another girl. And she's definitely one of the... They're talking to each other, even though the herd is spread out and split away. They're all communicating still. I can say this female is definitely one of the... They're all communicating still. I can say this female is definitely one of the more high-ranking, definitely one of the oldest. You can see how much bigger she is than the other females, and she's giving the odd poke. Ah, that's why she's bigger. She's a he. Now that I can see her from behind. So it's a young bull that's actually pushing the females around a little bit. And to continue with what Trisha was saying, Trisha, that is why quite often you find that the cows get fed up with the man, push their buddies around. Now I want to leave this herd. It has got quite dark and they're all around us. I want to just make my way out and let them have the space for the evening. And while I do that, I believe that Brent has some amazing insects to show you. I'll catch up with you soon enough.
Isn't this incredible? There's a large emergence of alates or termites. So this is the reproductive males and females from the different termite colonies, and they are going out after the rain and different termite colonies, and they are going out after the rain and soil soft to go try set up new colonies. Very, very few of them survive. They are an incredibly rich source of protein, and literally everything eats them. I've even seen hyena and leopard and lion eating them. But isn't this? I mean, it's literally, the air is thick with them. Thousands upon thousands of potential kings and queens taking off to see if they can make it in life. So it looks like there's probably 3 or 4 emergences coming out, and these are the little termites that don't build the really big mounds. They make those little termites that don't build the really big mounds. They make those little most of their stuff will be underground, possibly even some of them that will go feed off from the bottom of the termite dung and make their way into the termite dung. And it's just So they've missed a lot of the birds. The birds have already bedded down for roosting, but I've been keeping an eye out. Guys, one of the other things that's definitely going to be out is possibly some of the rain frogs and sand frogs that bury themselves in the soil, and when a feeding feast like this comes out, they can't resist. So one would think an aardvark would be taking advantage of this, and it is possible, but an aardvark would literally have to be over the hole where they're emerging from to take advantage of this. Oh. And we've got that wonderful skyline. You can see the lights a bit softer after the rain. Those really red there, and obviously with the amount of rain we've had, not too much dust around. Oh, I just saw a drongo swoop through and ease a termite. Disappeared. Swoop through and ease a termite. Disappeared. Okay, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna just be on the game drive radio for a second. Where's it gone? Oh, it's on my left. Not that I'm aware of, Craig. I'm making my way into that area at the moment, though. There we go, as I said it. But this is a different frog. It looked like, actually, where did he go? It looked like an African bullfrog. Oh, these are so cool. I love frogs. This is so cool. I love frogs so much. Where did he go? I just saw him hop. Try to spot him again. I'm just going to go amphibians. I'm really hoping I get bushveld rain frog this rainy season. He's one of my favorite looking frogs. He looks like a grumpy little old man. He's got these short little legs and he waddles around. But this looked like a bullfrog where we can see it. Where we can see it. So the last place I saw that frog walk,
Oh dear, well it seems as though Brent's picture decided to freeze. Now I've been trying to make my way off this road since you left me, and I'm so surrounded by elephants that there doesn't really seem to be an easy pathway. Now personally I prefer to keep lights off them, just because they are diurnal animals, they are daytime animals. And I've been trying to sneak past. We've made it past about 6 of them, but we have definitely met with an impassable roadblock in the form of a very big bottom. Apart from, of course, this little female. But here's the bottom that's in the road. The road curves around, so not only would we be trying to get past her, but we'd also be catching her by surprise as we go around that corner. Neither of which are... Hello. Yes, you're very scary. Yes, you're very scary. Alright, little one. Little boy. Teenage boy. Thinking about trying to act big and scary, but really being just a little bit too scared himself. He's going to then pretend to... Well, it sounds as though Brent has managed to find his frog and he's unfrozen, so let's head back to him.
You love. There you go. Oh, it's like a little male, not a really big African bullfrog yet. They can get a bit bigger than this. These are incredible frogs. They've got a wonderful sort of whomping call. Sort of a whomp, whomp. And he's definitely out to take advantage of these termites. I mean, incredible meal for a frog, and they will risk going out into the open and hopping around. That's how much protein's in this meal. Now try and get him to turn that way, no, other way. So you can see his eyes and he's there. No, you're going into the dark. Oh! I think he wants to get into some cover, so we're not going to harass him anymore. But isn't that incredible? I'm so excited the frogs are here. I really do love frogs, and they're such important animals in the ecosystem, and they're also one of the most important ecological sort of markers in a system. So frogs are one of the first species to really ecological sort of markers in a system. So frogs are one of the first species. And the other exciting things about having frogs out and termites out is that, oh, where's my spotlight? The frogs are a favorite food of a very interesting is that, oh, where's my spotlight? The frogs are a favorite food of a very interesting group of animals of a reptilian variety, and always a good chance after you've got a really big sort of termite emergence. We've got this incredible emergence all around us, and there's lots of them still flying and just catching flecks of them in the light. And Donovan is wondering if we can show them coming out of the mound. Donovan, I tried earlier before we went live to see if I could find where that emergence was. So open area can be quite difficult, but I will keep checking for you. And congratulations. Since you've been watching the live drives, another time of the year, but not every year, which is quite. But if you do, it's also corner cricket, and we do get them here. Elaine's mentioning that she saw some when she was at Biamiti Bush Camp in the Kruger National Park when she visited, and she's coming back next year, so well, not too far from us today, and just up the road. Interesting question, and from Richard King, who's asking about that frog we just saw. Says, Is that the one, if you lick it, it is a hallucinogenic? Well, anyway, we'll see. Maybe we can convince James to try it. See what happens to him. I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't there. I think she was lying up very close to the Jacobberry around that fallen terminalia. I wasn't there. I think she was lying up very close to the Jacobberry around that fallen terminalia just to the south. I'm about 5 minutes away from, or even less, probably 3 minutes away. So guys, Jamie's stuck in an elephant roadblock, so we're going to go catch up with Karuda for the last little bit of drive. Just, I think she might be stuck there for a while. And there's lots of different tracks on the road here, and those big ones. And there's lots of different tracks on the road here, and those big ones you're seeing in the middle of the road there are zebra. So only one baby impala, hopefully more in the morning. especially since we're at night and we've been chatting about termites. One of the biggest predators of termites is the mighty otter. And people are wondering, when was the last time we saw one? What are the densities like around here? And the last one that was seen by Wild Earth on Djuama was actually spotted by a Nicky on a staff drive, and that was probably a couple of months ago now. The last aardvark I saw was also probably a couple of months ago, but it wasn't on Djuama. It was on another reserve where my parents live, and I actually saw two in 500 meters. And shortly after that, my dad saw a leopard try catch an aardvark. So must have heard about Tingana, the male leopard in the Sabi Sands, who had a taste for aardvark flesh. But in densities, in this area I'm not 100% sure, but not incredibly large densities. And they're very difficult. Apart from seeing their tracks, they don't leave droppings. They bury their dung, so it can make it quite difficult to find them. And one of the best ways, if you have time on your side, would be to check all those holes. And there's a certain species of fly that is specific to aardvark, and different species are specific to different aardvark in different areas. And if you come across a hole in the ground and you notice that there are these the reason you see them at the entrance to the hole here in the Sabi Sands or the low felts, there's one species of fly that either feeds off the sweat or the blood. They're not 100% sure yet of aardvark, but if you go up to the sweat or the blood, they're not 100% sure yet of aardvark. But if you go up to the high veld or into the desert, there's a different species of the same family that also feeds off the sweat. And she hasn't moved a little bit further away. A new viewer to ask him questions. Raiden, welcome Raiden. Raiden's wondering, when do we see lions? Well, Raiden, we're not going to see a lion. What's left of the carcass. There is a bit more on the other side, but the impala are quite close to this tree, so I'm just gonna call Jamie quickly. Jamie. So those of you who heard me talking to Craig, he was also looking for Karula. Sorry, not to worry, Jamie. He was also looking for Karula. I said she might have headed down to the waterhole at the Djuama Dam Cam for a drink, and that she has. So I asked him to go check there because we were coming in from this side. So Raiden, we're on our way to see a leopard. A female leopard, quite often known as the Queen of Djuama. She is the main territorial leopard in this area. And you might have noticed I switched off my lights when there were a bunch of impala in front of the vehicle. So what happens is you can blind your diurnal animals, and diurnal animals are most active during the daytime. with the lights, and that can sometimes give predators an unfair advantage. And we're here to observe nature in its most true essence, so we don't want to affect either in help of the prey or the predator. But it sounds like she's gone down for a drink. Oh, the Zermi's sleeping. Today they didn't catch Karula coming down. Job. Just make her out some great spotlight. Is still in residence. He hasn't made his way out for a feed yet. Hello, Pete. Okay, and there is the Queen of Djuama, Karula. Dominant female leopard in this area. Incredibly successful mother. She successfully reared 6 litters, if my memory serves me correctly. She's 11 years old at the moment, be turning 12 next year. Look at that very fat kitty, eating lots of them. Impala. Any of you guys are new? Her name, Karula, means the peaceful one. Spells out the word wow. And look at that, isn't that stunning? She is gorgeous. Hope you guys are getting some great screenshots. If you are taking screenshots, share them with us. Pop them on the Safari Live Facebook page, or use the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. And any of you new wondering what that clicking is, that's my camera getting my screenshots. Isn't she gorgeous? You can always see the light dancing off her eyes. So, like we have individual fingerprints, each individual leopard doesn't have the same spots, and our rag in sometimes it makes it very difficult. So the most identifiable sort of spot pattern on leopards is the first line of spots above the whiskers. Karula is quite a unique case with that wow across her, in between her eyes. But it's very probable she'll head back towards that impala carcass hanging in the tree. She just came down here for a drink. And it's a strong possibility she might finish with the remnants tonight. So we might have to be out tracking bright and early tomorrow morning. See if we can locate it. Or locate her again. It is so great having her back around. She has been relatively absent for the last while. What a beautiful evening. So we're going to pop across to Jamie so she can say goodnight, and then we'll be back with Karula the Queen for the last few minutes of the show.